Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Four Guys on Sports is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
That was a little chalky.
Good afternoon, morning, or wherever you are. Welcome to the Four Guys on Sports. Everybody there? Anybody?
Yes,
Hello?
I am.
Shawn?
Can you hear?
Nate? Shawn? Hello? Hello?
They're muted.
Shawn, you're muted. How about that for...
All right, now, how about that?
How about that for live radio and live TV?
It was a little the intro was chalky and it didn't come over on Zoom, so that's why it was a little delayed.
Yeah, sorry about that. It usually starts out that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here. We got this morning. We've got Shawn and Nate over there. Morning, both.
Morning.
Morning, Nate.
Let me turn Nate up here a little bit.
And then sitting in for Gordon, we have Mr. Nanneron, who hasn't joined us for quite a while.
Hello.
Good to see Eric.
Good to be here.
You're here to irk us, huh?
Yes, that's my job.
Anyway, so what's everybody up to? How's your holiday weekend going so far?
So far, so good. I had to help my sister get packed up because she's starting to move into her house down at school, so had to do that.
It's cool.
Shawn, what you been up to besides cooking? What's that, Nate?
I said mine's not too bad. I've had to do a whole lot of work lately, though. Just prepare for it, prepare cars, stuff like that, man. Ain't too bad.
You're not supposed to work on a holiday weekend. What's up with that?
Hey, I worked today too, so.
I did all mine last weekend. Boy, what a trip that was. But we won't even go into that. It took me all week to recover.
Oh, that, okay.
Yeah, but we...
This is a little different for us, man. This is one of our first 4th of July, man, where we're not expecting rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a little bit today, but the forecast for the next two or 3 days looks pretty excuse me, pretty decent. It rained out the fireworks last night, of course.
Yeah.
But that's, you expect that on Friday around here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We had a little tad bit of rain last night, just a trace.
Hey, here's a little bit of history making news. It was for me. Put some gas in the Durango yesterday.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't totally empty, right? It had like a little less than a quarter tank in it, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and it topped it off, filled up, man. $103 and change, man.
Yeah, I filled up my tank recently. It was down to almost E, and it cost me almost $120.
How much are you guys paying for fuel down there?
Last I looked, now it's down to about $4.59, I think now.
Just think of what it would have been at $5.
And that's what it was at $5.
Oh, it's $5 a gallon. Yeah, that's about right.
I know there's a gas station that around here is gonna be down to $3.99 for this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the $3.99 is for that junk that nobody uses.
Yeah.
The other stuff is that you guys take over a second.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But
It is. I
yeah,
got the gas. Last week we were down. We were a little closer down near DC, and got some gas. That was $6.15.
oh wow.
Sorry about the delay there.
All right.
Another thing with live radio and live TV.
Yeah, since we're gonna fuel this thing, let's fuel a fire. What's going on up there with the Deshawn Watson deal?
Oh, Deshawn Watson. Yeah, that's right.
So the latest is the league didn't find any violence or force of contact by Deshawn. So we'll see what that means for his suspension. I mean, suspension. That's different.
Suspension.
Yeah.
The things I've been reading on this is the league is still adamant about a year suspension.
Mm.
On the other hand, though, if this judge comes up with letting them try to get away with a year, there's something wrong. It's BS is what it is. The whole thing comes down to the fact that there was no violence there. He had asked for stuff. Sure, it's not. This is stuff you can go to the internet and get.
Yeah.
There's places on the internet that do the same thing.
Yeah.
And the whole thing comes down to the fact that, he was, he really wasn't he wasn't violent. There were some things that were questionable.
You might want to check Twitter.
Twitter's not there. Twitter's not there.
Okay.
I had to take and I'm trying to fix that situation.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that.
The whole thing comes down to the fact he wasn't violent. He had some questionable acts there. I've read 2 or 3 different things on depositions that were given where he had talked, but it was clear that the person that he was with actually did have a choice. She could have walked out of the room, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But the whole thing of it was it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
And how many of us have done stuff that's questionable while we were working?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing's going to come down to the fact that that Robert Kraft and New England and what was it, the Washington guys, that Washington guy.
And Dallas.
And
Dan
Dallas.
Snyder and Jerry Jones.
And, they did the stuff pretty much basically the same thing that Watson's accused of, and they got their hands slapped for it. There was no suspensions. There was no BS that was like this. They're trying to make a name out of him, and it's bullcrap.
With Kraft though, they got it on video, but they threw that out because they were illegally recording it.
The whole thing of it is, Eric, they got his flipping credit. They know what he paid for it.
Mm.
No, come on, give me a break here.
But since they illegally recorded it, that video is null and void. So,
but that doesn't.
At the same point.
That's not the fact that they found receipts in that place and know what he did. They know he visited that place and what the place was known for. So that's just makes him as guilty as anything.
But still, there's no proof since they threw the video out that they have the receipts, but there's no actual proof since they threw the video out that he did anything wrong. They have the receipts that he was there, but they don't have proof since the video was thrown out that he did anything illegal.
Now, wait a minute. You go to a massage parlor, Let's just call it that. In Vegas, it's called other things, but we won't go into that. You go to a massage parlor. You put down your money. They record. They give you a receipt for what you paid, and give you a nice looking little girl, and you go back there with her. Now it takes her about a half hour, 45 minutes, and customarily there's stuff there that happens that I won't even come close to going into. And then you'll come out and the FBI's sitting there saying, "Hey, what are you doing here?" "I didn't do nothing." Is that believable? What do you think, Nate? You're listening to this.
Yeah, and I'm apologize. Connection thing's so bad. I don't think it's just connection. I think it's the third time you. But I was going to say, I was looking though at the recent news. So, they should have a little update as of a couple hours ago regarding Deshawn Watson issue. And it's a great chance that he may not get a lengthy suspension. And I'll be honest, I don't think he should.
Yeah.
Think about this. It's got in trouble. There is no, like you said earlier, Paul, there's no violence. Okay, there's no felony charges, nothing like that. This winds up being a civil matter, and you settle. You have settlement in place. You're paying. To me, how much more do you need to demonstrate that there's been a restitution? I mean, it's ridiculous. To me, once you pay a settlement, I'm not sure that I'm in agreement with any suspension. Think about that.
Well, just think about it this way, Nate.
Yeah.
If you've been charged with something, and you take and make restitution, and say that when you paid now however millions of dollars or whatever, and they actually have to file a thing that retracts those charges in that lawsuit. Once that's done, there is no all that stuff disappears. There is no violation. There is no act. And so how in the world can you take something like the NFL and try to make it directed at, he's had charges pressed against him and he's going to civil court and all. Well, there's no civil court for 20 of them now. It's all been settled. You and I have an argument and you sue me for libel. Okay, I pay you off. I pay you off and you retract the libel statement. Can that be used against me? Nope. That's what this is coming down. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody. I don't agree with what this kid did. I really don't. But I think that if you're going to have a set of rules, this goes for the NFL, this goes for life, this goes for whatever. If you're going to have a set of rules, it should be equal for everybody, including the owners, including the staff, whatever. It should be equal for anybody. And if you're not going to treat them equally, then that opens up a whole other can of worms.
And the owners and that should be
held to a higher standard.
Anyways.
And that it's not being done that way. They're going to make an example out of this guy, and that's all they've got on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
It seems silly too, because it's really double jeopardy. It's like, okay, you're going to pay restitution, you're going to pay a settlement to these folks.
Now, the other thing that's come up, and I want you guys' opinion on this, is the fact that because they're, because he had to fight all this stuff, he's taken over a year off. Does this weigh on whatever suspension he gets?
To me, it should, but it won't, because he voluntarily done that. But he done that because of the situation.
He probably did that at Dallas's urging.
Houston.
He probably did that at Houston's urging, so I corrected myself. Houston, the management of Houston probably came on and said, "We don't need all this. Just take a year, take the time off, and go fix what you got to
But
fix."
the thing is, that was his choice because they had him playing safety in training camp in off-season workouts. So, if they wanted him to completely sit out, they wouldn't have had him playing a different position and risking injury. They're doing that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on. Any other news concerning the Browns?
Absolutely.
Man,
So I see Baker, man.
yeah,
Baker has a chance to go on a redeem tour.
yeah.
So he literally wants Cleveland to extend themselves and reach out to him, which I think is absurd. I think that, I think it should be a mutual agreement, to be honest. I think they should come together and say, hey, look, this could be mutually beneficial to both sides.
Yeah.
Dylan, considering it's likely still that Sean is still going to have some sort of suspension. That going, you guys start with the quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm your guy. This gives you a chance to have a start-worthy quarterback in there that's familiar with the system, and at the same time, it gives me a chance to prove myself that I'm still a start-worthy quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I did hear down here is that there was some semblance of a talk between San Fran and them too about doing a swap at quarterbacks, which is sending Baker to San Fran for Jimmy Garoppolo. But
I would love to see that, but I don't. I've heard rumor of that up here too. The ideal thing could be effectively a three-way trade. I forgot what other team it was that was talking about. Who the heck was it?
Carolina.
It may have been, but what effectively it would have done, it would have sent Baker to another team. It would have given a trade from that other team to San Francisco, and Garoppolo would have came here.
Probably Sam Darnold would go to San Fran. Garoppolo would come here, and Baker would go to Carolina.
Was that what it was?
I'm only speculating that. I don't know because I didn't see it, but I mean, Baker's been rumored to go to Carolina for a while. And the latest thing I saw during the week was Seattle.
Yeah.
That they were close to a deal, finalizing a deal to send him to Seattle.
Now, whatever it is, they need to get this done. Everybody's getting tired of hearing about it. He's sitting there, well, I'm not going to ever play for the Browns, but if they were to reach out to me, we might be able to talk. And then, but I'm not going to play there. I think we've both moved on.
Yeah.
Get it over with. This limbo crap's for the birds. The NFL needs to come down with this, or they need to get this suspension crap over with so we can move on. And they also need to get this Baker thing taken care of.
I think they're saying we probably should find out somewhere around the 11th on the Deshawn part. So.
Well, the Watson thing, there again, the NFL's been known to come out on holidays with different announcements. Some of the longest or strongest announcements have come out around the July 4th area. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I just think it's time to get it done.
It seems like it's either the NFL or the NCAA that come with big announcements on a holiday.
Yeah, and the big announcement this week was the UCLA USC moving to the Big Ten.
And then I just saw Oregon and Notre Dame are trying to also. So, they're not finalized yet, but that would be an interesting
Yeah.
wrinkle. But I think that's just too many teams, and I don't think they should be.
But you're coming up with super conferences now, with the SEC going big like they are, and then you got the Big Ten coming following suit. And because, SEC just recently added, Texas and Oklahoma. And now you're going to have USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten.
I think that I kind of like it in a way, though. But I think that it will change. But Ohio State, we all know their main brand.
Yeah.
LA is, and so is USC.
Yeah.
But I still think that it will change the market dynamics.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's pretty on.
Going to see more of those blue blood teams going against each other, which is going to be nice.
Yeah, so I wonder what's going to happen to Pac-12, though, man.
Yeah, well, Pac-12 is going to. You may see some teams jump from another conference to there, but that's the question. And how it will affect that conference in the long term. So.
I mean, what other conferences could they jump from? Because there's not a ton of other smaller conferences.
Out that way there's a couple teams that they were mentioning. I thought I think it was for San Diego State, but that's going from, I think, the Mountain West. And then the other one was what was the other one? Boise was another one. But that's not, you're losing out big time with UCLA and USC coming over.
Yeah.
So, trying to think about it. But you were right about the Oregon. They said the three teams that the other teams that they were talking about were Oregon and Washington, but Big Ten's actually waiting out for Notre Dame's decision, though. We'll see.
So what other?
How about switching up a little bit, gentlemen? How about that NBA? So Kyrie went on and opted in.
Yeah.
Letter opted, which is really kind of no surprise. What's going to be the long term?
Yeah, Kyrie, and then you got Durant requesting a trade out, and then you got Rudy Gobert going to Minnesota. And then what was the other big deal there?
Do you think that Rudy Gobert changes the complexion of Minnesota?
Yeah, I think so. You got just imagine that front court of Gobert and Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. That might be a nice little front. So.
Yeah, the three of those Towns is clearly you become one of the most dominant power forwards in the league. At least it's nothing else most versatile.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah, the other deal was the one from San Antonio to Atlanta, the DeJounte Murray deal.
I don't know if that's going to change much. When I
Yeah.
look at so I know that Dejounte Murray is a good player,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not the biggest Trae Young fan.
Yeah.
He's a good little player, but I don't know. His efficiency is awful.
Uh-huh.
He's a high-volume shooter. I don't know, something off.
Yeah.
He's not Steph Curry,
No.
and that's what he tried to be. And it doesn't quite work for me. I don't know. But he's not a bad player.
Yeah.
Something's quite wrong.
Yeah, I was looking at Twitter some a little bit, and they were talking about Rudy, Gobert. And, well, they had a video of the kid that's coming up next year that's supposed to be the next generational talent from France. Wimbekana, or so, I can't remember his last name, but they were going, showing that, and they were showing how that kid was just dominating Gobert, and he's only a teenager. I mean, he's 7'3" with a wingspan almost 8 foot, and can shoot out to the range of Curry. Yeah, that's how.
What a reach. 8
Oh,
foot.
Yeah, to be exact, 7'10", but that's darn near 8 foot.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, they're saying, the best prospect. They say he's the best prospect since LeBron. Even better than, they're saying even more hyped than Luka. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I looked at the kid though, man, but he's 7'3", but he needs to really add some, muscle to himself though.
Does he have more bulk on him than Chet Hologram has on him?
There's similarity there in terms of size. It's pretty skinny, from what I could tell. But he's got a game to him though. Believe me.
So what do you guys think of Chet's upside?
And Chet Homer, I think we'll see how he turns out in the NBA. I think it's gonna take him a couple years to get going, but I think he'll be all right.
For some reason, I was high I do.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know. I want to feel confident. I personally think he should have stayed in college.
Yeah, but
burn out, stop.
yeah.
And I think it would have been no better for him.
Yeah. The kid that I'm interested to see how he does now that he was the first pick is Ben Caro. See how he. But it's gonna be an interesting. The Cavs made their couple moves. They brought back Ricky Rubio, and then they also signed Robin Lopez as a backup center.
They did something with Sexton too. I don't remember what that was though. I think did they re-sign him?
I don't know.
They might have
franchised.
franchised. I think they
Dallas
franchise tagged him.
Sexton.
Is what I think I heard. I think they franchised him.
I know Dallas has been offering him anywhere between 21 and 22 million a year. Yeah.
Yeah, because they lost big run, so he's trying to replace
Yeah, they lost Brunson. That was a big hit. Somewhat of a big hit, but not much.
He's a very good player. Not worth that money. I think he's worth every bit of it. I think he's going
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's going to see it, even though he's going to an awful franchise.
Yeah.
The truck right now is terrible, man. And I don't know so much, well, yes, it is an awful franchise, but I think the system or the lack thereof is terrible.
Uh-huh.
Which I don't know if Russ is going to be as good there as he was in Dallas, but he might even be more accomplished by himself. They have more opportunities.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think if he were to come to Dallas, he'd be more, he'd be a good sidekick to Luka. And then I think he would be more of that. Sexton would be more of that. He's not quite the creator that Kyrie was back in the day, but he would be kind of a similar playing role like with Kyrie was to LeBron. So.
I thought one of the most surprising things this season, all season, though, was John Wall with a buyout going to the Clippers.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think it hurts the Lakers even more.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I think they're gonna be better.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the Lakers have signed just a couple of mid-level exception players that I've noticed, but that's about it. Nothing really special.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see Summer League starts in I think we got like a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a couple of weeks from now.
I'm so eager to see that. Yeah, I'm quite
Uh-huh.
guys, but definitely want to see. I want to see what Cleveland develops. I want to see if Los Angeles and his development wrong. They can.
I think that as far as Cleveland's concerned, as far as a football team, and what we're going to see from them is actually going to be pretty good.
Say it again, that.
I think as far as football team Cleveland-wise, I think what you're going to see is going to be pretty good because of what changes we've made over the last year or since the Baker decision and all that. The way that I look for this to pan out, and I've read this more than once. You're probably going to go with. They're talking about going with that kid that they drafted, or that they got. What was his?
Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett, yeah. They're talking about going with him. I don't think he's good enough for what Cleveland's going to need. So I think
He's a serviceable backup, basically.
I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Cleveland if Deshaun does get suspended for a year. What they're going to end up doing is you're going to see Garoppolo here. I'm about 80% sure of that. Somehow they're going to find a way to get him here for a year. And adding that to what we've already got won't quite be Deshawn Watson, but it'll be formidable. I've always liked Garoppolo's play ever since he was up in New England, and I think if once you get that in place, and this team can actually gel a little bit during the practices and all that, I think we're going to be pretty formidable.
Uh-huh.
Who else do you think is going to do well this year? You think Ravens? I don't look for much out of Pittsburgh.
No, I don't think Pittsburgh. We'll see how the Bengals do with their new revamped offensive line, but we'll see.
Yeah, the Bengals. That's with Burrow on that team. They're going to be one to fight.
Yeah.
And I think when they come to Cleveland, they're going to be looking for blood, especially if they've improved that offensive line. You know, everybody, that offensive line they had was because of the corners and that. They were not what they should have been, and they probably, if they would have had something decent to protect him from or with the passing and that, I think they would have been a Super Bowl champ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the simple fact of it is they're going to come to Cleveland this year looking for blood.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm switching up a little bit in terms of football. I noticed Ohio State has done something that hasn't really been done in terms of wide receivers. I think they got 3 5-star receivers in 3 days, which is,
Wow.
yeah,
I didn't realize they did that.
yeah,
Big time.
yeah.
They needed to be low.
And you can credit Brian Hartline, the receiver assistant coach there. He's a heck of a recruiter, especially at the wide receivers.
They asked Urban what he thought of the switches in the Big Ten and that.
I wonder,
Yeah.
so how did they do as far as shoring up that offensive line? And on defensive end, how did they do? They do anything on the trip that?
They changed the defensive coordinator. I can't remember the guy's name. He came over from Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State was the one, I think, number 3 defense in the country. So this year, so we'll see how that pans out on that part. And they brought in, we'll see how, because they're looking at several key defensive players coming up in the recruiting ranks too. So.
And I mean, I can't think of a prime time program
Yeah.
that was out of balance. Ohio State.
Yeah.
They feasted on offense, and it was a pure famine on defense.
Yeah, their offense, that CJ Stroud is actually right now, in terms of mock drafts, is right now leading candidate to be the number 1 player in the draft. So.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it looked really good this year after having a year under his belt.
Yeah, you got that combination of him and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and that's a crazy combo right there. And then you add in Marvin Harrison Jr., and so it's going to be interesting. And then you also have nobody really talks about it. It's Travion Henderson, the running back.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get the defense.
Yeah, just gotta improve the defense, and they'll be all right. Yeah.
I want to see myself. I think the proof is going to be in the pudding with all the switches and that they're going to do in the college stuff.
I just want to see them beat the heck out of Michigan.
Yeah, that would be nice. They deserve that.
Yeah.
But as far as I lost my whole train of thought.
You know.
I said they definitely owe Michigan some revenge, man.
Oh yeah.
Because they got scared.
Yeah, we can do that to them for another 10 or 15 years now. That'll be fine. I wouldn't mind that a bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So trying to think here.
I guess it's like that. It's like they say, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, and that was what with the win last with Michigan's win over us last year. Blind squirrel syndrome.
And then the other big topic in terms of recruiting, I see Arch Manning, which is the nephew to Eli and Peyton, is actually officially, or not officially, but he's put his name in for Texas down here. So that should be an interesting pickup for them under Steve Sarkisian. So.
There was a thing I saw on the.
But that's going to be the battle right there. You got that Quinn Ewers, that was that recruit that went to Ohio State for that year and then transferred down to back down here to Texas. So this should be a good battle right there.
There is rumor that I think it's Tom Brady's son is coming up through the ranks now too.
Yeah.
And that he's actually considering pro ball.
Yeah.
And could you imagine another 30 years of Brady?
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's supposed to be pretty good from what I was seeing.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But another Tom Brady.
Brady.
Especially going to New England and playing for somebody like Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
Yeah, he's got to play with me.
I'll teach him
Teach him how to mumble.
Ways of mumbling, ways of playing. He's going to be a good player.
Good play.
I think I did that fairly well.
Yeah.
He always reminded me of that Paul Bear cartoon, that Ma and Pa Bear.
Yeah.
Every time the old boy had to do something, he'd mumble. You ever see that, Nate?
Nate.
Say it again. Sorry to hear.
Did you ever see the cartoon with Ma and Pa Bear?
Did you ever see that cartoon with Ma and Pa Bear, Nate?
The cartoon with who?
With Ma and Pa Bear?
I don't think I have.
It's
He hasn't seen it.
You ever seen it, Eric?
Are you talking Bernstein Bears?
No, this is different. This is Ma and Pa. They've got two. They got a little, like a 13 or 14-year-old girl bear and a baby.
Oh no.
And every time the old man talks, he mumbles like, he reminds me of Bill Belichick. Oh, damn kid, I'm gonna take care of him. Anyway, that's a good way to waste about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What else are we going to talk about today? We got to have something here. How about baseball? How about them Indians? I mean, Guardians.
The
Guardians. That's what they are.
The Guardiac kids?
Yeah, I've heard them called that. I guess.
I just saw the right fielder's gonna be out for a week with a rib injury. They just promoted top prospect second baseman Gabriel Arias.
Okay.
What do you think of the Jimenez kissing the bat after he hit the home run? Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't see that. The only thing I seen was the headbutt from Naylor.
Yeah. After he hit the home run, Jimenez kissed the bat, then flipped it. While Minnesota didn't like that.
No. Wow.
Well, it depends on if there is any kind of like in football where you over dramatize things or whatever, celebration, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And if that gets in the way of it, then that's another thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of think myself that a little celebration like that ain't bad. So then what if the other? I mean, it's not like I haven't watched that in certain football teams here, and I haven't seen it exhibited on a couple of other opponents. You know, like the interdivision opponents that Cleveland's got. The celebration thing is one thing. If you overdo it, that's another story. If you're going to take and jump up into the stands and run all over the stands and then back onto the field, that's a bit much to take. But everybody running down to one end of the field and taking an imaginary snapshot, that ain't bad. I can deal with that. That's just happy. Anyway,
What's up?
Hey, there's the young kids, man. Little Steve, the phenom now. St. Vincent St. Mary.
What
What's his name?
the basketball player or
Yeah.
that went to the NBA?
Did he get dressed? I thought he was.
Yeah, you got Malachi Branham. I think that's. Yeah, he got drafted in the NBA on, I think, the 20th pick to the Spurs.
Have you ever seen him play?
Yeah, I seen him at Ohio State play. He was getting better with each game. Either one was one and done, or I think, one and done type players.
Don't they have another one down there that's coming out of high school now?
I'm not sure. Oh, the kid from Bookville? Or
No, St. Vincent guy.
oh, I know the kid from Bookville that went to Oak Hill there, and then that, so he's going to Kentucky. I haven't seen anything about St. V or anything recently. To look that up.
Thought I heard something.
Now that you mention that, I think there was somebody from St. V that they were saying could equal LeBron.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what his name was.
Right now, the second best player to come out of the St. V is that Malachi Branham. I think he's 6'8", 6'9", somewhere around there. Let me look and see. I'm not sure. Come on. All right. Looking that up right now. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see what. Yeah, he's actually 6'4". Thought he's bigger than that, but 6'4". He was getting better with each game though. He was in the last. I think there was a 3-game stretch there at the end of the season. He was averaging almost 25 points a game. It's not bad for college. Yeah. Let me see there.
Well, while there's a little space here,
Yeah.
I want to. I think it's time for a little commercial.
Uh huh.
Any of the listeners to our station normally, which is crookedriverradio.com or Crooked River Radio, we are in the midst of a 60s and 70s weekend. Until 10 p.m. tonight, we'll be doing all 60s. And anything we had as far as the 60s, there's about 800 songs there. That'll play up until 10 o'clock tonight, right?
Yeah.
And we'll switch things out. And when we switch out, it's going to go over to 70s between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Or 10 p.m. tonight and 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're doing a radioactive show or not. We are debating it still, and if it happens, it happens. At this point in time, I hate to. Usually, the 4th of July around my house is a war zone, and I hate to be on the air and have booms and all that kind of stuff going on, and dogs barking and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we're going to do this or not. If not, we'll still run the 70s until 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. At 10 o'clock tomorrow evening, we will add music of the music of America, which is will be all 4th of July music and stuff that is America themed. It's going to be a cool weekend. I've already started off pretty cool.
Did you ever think about maybe doing something on the 4th of July, like maybe if you're not doing anything?
There again,
like I know we would run into the fireworks, but if you did it maybe around 5, where there's not fireworks, maybe like 5 to 6:30, like just a special.
I suppose we could think about something like that. We'll have to talk about it off the air, but
Okay.
I just wanted to let everybody know, and we do have a new podcast coming. Well, it's not new; it's a
Continuation.
It's a continuation of an old one. The Lore Hunters with Beth Ann Roos is. We're going to pick that up next, not tomorrow, but it will be Sunday, July 10th at 11 a.m. in the morning. It'll be in podcast format. We'll play it on all our affiliates and all that. But as far as the actual, it'll be available on Spreaker when we're done and all that. She the podcast that she did a couple of years ago has never really died off. It keeps getting hit as downloads and that. So I figure we'll take a little bit more advantage of that. She's been kind of chomping at the bit to get back at it anyway, so we'll do it. That's all the news coming up on that I can think of for us.
Okay.
What else you got, Sean? What'd you find?
I was just trying to see about that next player that Nate was trying to see about St. V, but I can't find anything right now.
I don't know when. I haven't heard back from the person, but we might have a big time sports guest on Buckeye Time. Long time, 30 plus years in the Cleveland sports media on. I'm just, before I announce who it is, I want to get the confirmation on the date that he's going to be on, but we're going to have a big time Cleveland sports, former Cleveland sports writer from the Plain Dealer. Who, yeah, he'll be on. So I don't know what day yet.
Okay.
Anyway, we could probably wrap this up if you want, Sean.
All right. Well, today's show was pretty good. It started off with a good topic on Deshawn, and then move forward towards the other sports and stuff. We'll just have a good 4th of July weekend coming up.
Nate, enjoy yourself down there. Don't eat too much.
Hey, man, next week I'll be on video, man. It's, on a, and I'm rolling like this, but I'm on a call, man. It's so hard to
Listen in.
If you, why don't you put, why don't you put,
Pat, I may be traveling your way. I may be traveling your way. Just trying to plan some stuff, man.
Okay.
There's a plan on some stuff. Well,
Did you hear that, Dad?
I didn't hear what he said, no.
He said he may be traveling your way here soon. So.
Well, keep me posted. We can meet up for dinner. That'd work.
Did you hear that, Nate?
No, what's that?
He said keep him posted and maybe you can meet up for dinner sometime during that time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can wrap this up. Eric, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And
All right. Thanks for coming in there, Eric.
No problem.
we will see everybody next week. I think that's about all I got. So
Yeah.
y'all have a wonderful 4th of July. We'll see you next week.
All righty.
This has been a Crooked River Media production.